It's Metal Rockin' Whiskey, and I'm Sailor, and we're back, motherfuckers. Hey!
What's up?
What's up?
Burgering Geek back in the house. The house is a little
Can you
dusty.
believe it? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very dusty.
We're cleaning up here.
Yeah.
Trying to get things straightened out.
Yeah, who didn't flush the toilet? God damn it.
Oh, man.
This
That was
whole
quite
time.
the hiatus for you guys, wasn't it?
It was Matt. Matt did it. He's not here to defend himself. It's all his fault.
Blame it on the guy who's not around.
Exactly.
Good plan.
What's up, Ed? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just getting ready for the change in seasons here, and
yeah, me too.
Yeah, life in the Midwest as usual.
Life in the fast lane surely make you lose your mind. Anyway, we have someone with us tonight, who is our new co-host. What's up, Nate?
Hi guys, how's it going?
Welcome.
Well, thanks for having
welcome
me.
to the podcast.
Yeah, been a long time listener, long time fan. So thanks for having me. I guess I knew Sailor a long time ago too.
All right, now we'll have to find another fan to replace you.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that.
Season by season contracts, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've been around for a while, I guess, and then we haven't been around for a while. Shit, it's been a long time, I think. Ed and I traversed the country together. Well, he did half of it. I did the whole thing.
Yep.
And then I traversed back across the country. So that was fun. Loads of fun. Nate, let's introduce you to our lovely listeners, who we hope are still there. Hello. Hello. Are you guys still there? Let's hope.
I think I heard someone.
Oh, did you? It wasn't just me? All right. Or the cat. So, Nate, what is your favorite kind of French fry?
Probably waffle.
Waffle.
Nice. More surface area.
Like
you kind of get a mouthful of fry.
I like it. Seasoned?
Seasoned.
Seasoned all the way.
Five Guys does a pretty good job with fries. And usually they have pretty good waffle fries. I don't know if you guys have Five Guys on the East Coast, but
yeah. If we don't, I don't know, I've lived all over the place. I know Five Guys. Yeah. Okay. Other really important information so that our listeners can get to know you. What's your favorite ice cream?
Probably mint chocolate chip. Breyer's mint chocolate chip has to be Breyer's because they have.
See, this is why we're friends.
High quality ice cream.
High quality. What are you, 80?
The big thing. My dad used to run. My dad, when he was in med school at University of Utah, he would run, and then he would eat a pint of ice cream. And so I feel like it's somewhere in my genetics. So, yeah.
It's gross. Oh, I've been on the toilet for a year if I did that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. From a doctor's son. Awesome. So clearly you hate metal, you hate rock, and you hate whiskey.
Yeah.
Which is why he's here.
It's all terrible. All right. I'm here to be the devil's advocate and naysay everything you guys say. So.
Oh, this is going to go well. Yeah. Jake.
You're going to preach to us about why vodka is superior.
Yeah. Especially when you add a little Red Bull. Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck. You're out of here.
Oh,
get
boy.
out.
Or that new Monster energy drink that has
alcohol on it. Fuck off. Yeah. All right. Speaking of that, let's get into what we're drinking tonight. Ed, you want to go first?
Sure. Right now, I am drinking a cool, clear glass of water.
Okay.
It's a good start.
That's not interesting.
Because I have yet to think about, I need to grab something to drink before we start. I'm sorry, I came here straight from the dinner table. I'm sorry.
You do this every time.
It's okay. First episode back. Give me some cobwebs.
Ay.
But let me see.
All right.
What I got.
Nate, you tell us what you're drinking.
I'll be back.
I'm drinking Macallan 12.
Ooh.
And a big glass of water, or thing of water. Half a gallon of water as well.
Half a gallon? So what's your favorite? What do you like about the Macallan? And by the way, it's the Macallan. Everyone listening.
The Macallan 12 year. I've had the 18 year and I've had the 12 multiple times, and for some reason it's just a little bit, it doesn't bite as much to me, and it's got great flavor. So I think I tried it on a whim at a Christmas party like 10 years ago, and I was like, oh shit, this is delicious. So yeah, it's kind of stuck with me ever since.
I like the Macallan. I mean, the 12 is like solid. It's a great, like, everyday drinker, you know, a sipper when you get home. You know what to expect every time you get it. I think it's a nice example of a non-peated whiskey made in Scotland. So that's a good choice.
Yeah, I think that's another part. It just doesn't have, you know, that kind of smoky peaty, that bite as much. So yeah.
No. Cool. Well, I decided I was trying to think of something special since it's our comeback show, but the nature of our discussion kept leading me back to a specific bottle. And I was like, no. I had this bottle on the show before, which is fine. We can repeat bottles. I really want to have something different and new, but I kept going back to it. And I'm just going to say I've got Ride the Lightning in my glass because Metallica is going to be a part of this discussion tonight. So that's what I chose to go with. I still, when I go back to this Ride the Lightning, I still love it. I don't care what anybody says. I really think Blackened is solid whiskey. It's really nice. I think of course, it's a nice collector's item. It's like cool to have the bottle. You know how I feel about collecting whiskey. Drink your fucking whiskey. Don't just own it. There's no reason for that. You know, I do keep the last few drams in my bottles, and I'll do an infinity one of these days. But so I'm a fan of the bourbon when the or the American whiskey, I should say. When the rye came out, I was a little bit like, I really love it. So
were you kind of worried it was one of those like gimmicky whiskeys? Like, oh, it's
well,
put out, you know, it's
that was a long time before Ride the Lightning. When we first heard it was coming out, as a matter of fact, all of us on the show, back when Jake and Matt were on the show, we were all very, very bitchy about it. We just expect,
to say the least.
Yes, I was bitchy. They were skeptical. Yeah, we expected it to just be like a lot of other celebrity whiskeys, just some sourced shit. They slapped their fucking name on it. Whoop-de-doo. We then found out Dave Pickerel was involved, and that's when everything changed. That's when I actually had expectations for it. And then when we got to taste it, we were really surprised. And we heard about their plan and what they were going to do with it. Sadly, Dave Pickerel passed away. He was very beloved in our industry, just a rock star in our industry, and just so excited about everything he did. And then there was a while when we didn't know what was going to happen with the brand. We weren't sure what they were going to do. They did originally have plans to open a distillery. I still don't know if that's going to happen. And then we found out that the former master distiller from Stranahan's whiskey was placed as the new master. Well, he calls himself a master blender. And Rob Dietrich, I had the pleasure of interviewing him for American Whiskey Magazine, which was really super cool. He's such a great guy. Man, that dude is so fucking interesting. I could have interviewed him about all kinds of things, like his life experiences, his career. He has been there, done that. He is just I hope he writes an autobiography one day. Anyway, I digress. So when we all tasted the juice, we were very happy. We were really pleased. We were very happy to be wrong about it. And I continue to defend it. And I think the way the whiskey community has embraced it, and the projects they've done with like Wes Henderson, I've got a bottle of that back here, for example. I think that's just proof how beloved the juice is by our community. So yeah, I'm a fan.
Cool.
Edward.
Okay, so cut back to what am I drinking? So I know, Sailor, this is a bottle that's near and dear to you as well as it is to me. It's called motor oil from U Spirit.
I considered that. I considered that.
Yeah. This is a very appropriate bottle for our subject and our comeback.
It's like it's some Motorhead vibes a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It's actually Paul
one of my
Futko
favorite bands
of Few Spirits partnered with the Black Label, the Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and they came up with this whiskey, which is finished in rum and vermouth casks. So
it's fucking good.
An insane depth of flavor to an already great bourbon.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's I nurse the hell out of this thing because
us too. I
know that
when it's gone, it's gone. I mean, that sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was our anniversary whiskey. What was that last year? I think it was last year, Robin and I, that was our, because we always get a bottle of blackened, because that was our wedding whiskey. But because I found out that Few was releasing that right before our anniversary, I was like, we're going to break the tradition, which now thinking back may have been a bad idea. But anyway, and it was also Stranger Things had just ended, and we got ourselves Hellfire Club shirts. And so we were both like, it just works, it just works.
Yeah.
That's a great choice, Ed. That's a really good choice. I did think about that too. I went through my Few collection, and if I had the Alice in Chains, which by the way, they're re-releasing.
Yes.
So my friends, if you can grab it, because again, that's gone forever.
Yeah, that's on my definitely to get list here.
Well, you better hurry up.
I missed out on Ride the Lightning, but this one,
I don't know if there's any. There might be some left. I don't know. But yeah, that was another one that I considered. So, well, cheers, everybody. Cheers. Enjoy your whiskey.
Yes.
My glass is in the other room. I'll go grab it here in a sec.
So, okay, I want to talk about a couple of things before we get into the subject at hand. Have you guys been following what is going on with Rick Astley?
I have not.
So he keeps popping. He'll pop up in my YouTube suggested videos and stuff every once in a while, and I know he does cameos. He'll step on stage with like the Foo Fighters and shit like that, and he'll cover all these great songs. And outside of that, not really. But he sounds like he's got a lot of balls in the air.
You know what? Funny you mention that, just because coincidentally, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, he did pop up in my YouTube feed, and he's doing the cover of Everlong.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was cool too. However, Glastonbury Music Festival is historic and massive, and it's become really cool because everyone that does Glastonbury now feels like they have to like pull out all the stops because it gets such great media attention. And I feel like everyone's trying to like one up each other, but it's also a place for them to just have a lot of fun and kind of do what they want. So Rick Astley went viral for getting on the drums and covering Highway to Hell and singing.
Oh my.
Now, I'm not a drummer. I have no fucking clue how difficult Highway to Hell is. When I listen to it, it doesn't sound like, it's not like fucking you're covering a Rush song, and you need 8 arms like Neil Peart. So it sounds like it's a pretty easy combo, but I don't fucking know. I know that, I can imagine, like, I've always been amazed at people who drum and sing because of their breath. Like that, it takes some fucking talent to breathe.
Your cardio has got to be fucking insane. Yeah,
totally. And just like what's her face does, what's her name, Fergie? She would do like cartwheels on the stage and like not miss a note. And I'm like, how I would be like, yeah. Even if I jumped, that'd be the end of me. So if you haven't seen it,
fitness.
Yeah, my fitness thing would just die. Go on YouTube and just put in Rick Astley Highway to Hell and be very, very pleasantly surprised. So then he did Everlong, then all of a sudden, so now there's like a bunch of shit coming up in my feed, and I don't know if he's always been this awesome and talented and cool, and we just gave him so much shit for wearing giant suits and singing songs that were too poppy, like old people for me, or if he just has this amazing PR machine behind him and he's trying to get like one last breath out of his career. I don't give a fuck. He's amazing. Like it's cool. I'm into it. So check it out.
Well, obviously he's got the talent if he could just capitalize on it.
Yeah, he definitely has the talent. Yeah.
Yeah, he's making a name. I mean, he's making a name for himself now with all these really cool rock bands, and it's kind of reinventing himself a little bit. And it's it's great. It's great to watch.
Don't read the comments.
Oh,
I'll just tell you that it was so. No, not at all.
Oh.
It was a lot of people, and I am this crazy. I was like, I'm just like, there's so many people going, who is this guy? This is awesome. Who is it? And I was like, fuck you. They're 12, right? They're going to be 12 or 13. And so I legitimately looked up some of these people on Facebook and Instagram. A lot of them were not on Facebook because it's for old people. And I found them on Instagram and I'm like, oh, they have children. Oh my God.
But I guarantee they've been rickrolled at some point in their life.
And probably didn't know what the fuck that was.
Yeah. Now there's some context. Yeah.
Never going to give you up. All right, moving on. Do you guys have anything new that you're listening to?
Not necessarily new. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of new stuff. I've been getting more. I mean, honestly, the topic we're going to be talking about today, I mean, kind of started me down a path of listening to a lot of old Slayer and stuff like that, but it's stuff I've listened to forever. So new, no, but getting back into some old stuff that I've missed a lot, I guess. So, yeah.
Actually, the answer would be yes for me. I've discovered a few new artists since our last recording that I've been getting into. I'll just name two of them real quick. One of them is Ghost. You've heard of Ghost? And
I have heard of Ghost, yeah.
I've heard of them.
There's a little band from Moldova, metal band called Infected Rain.
Infected Rain. Lovely.
Yes.
Lovely.
Which is really good.
Sounds like it's up Sailor's alley.
The lead singer, her stage name is Lena Scissorhands because she used to be a hairstylist back in the day. She's badass.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, look her up.
Huh.
Okay. Well, I actually have something newer to talk about that never fucking happens. Do you guys know who Chelsea Wolfe is?
I know the name. I don't know where though.
Not.
Probably in a headline somewhere, but
so she's considered a metal singer, which I don't know if I agree with that at all. I love the sound of her voice. I love her vibe and her style and her aesthetic, and I love what she does. However, I wish she would do heavier stuff. She reminds me a lot of Elizabeth Fraser of Cocteau Twins, if you're old enough to remember them. Cocteau Twins.
I am probably, but I don't.
So this like beautiful ethereal, like dreamy. They call it like dream wave, dark wave now.
Are you talking like Enya kind of stuff, or?
I mean, I want to throw up, but it's the best example. Imagine Enya not being stupid. Yeah, but being like really cool.
Okay. So if
stands the test of time, stands the test of time type stuff. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't say what I said. It's fine, whatever. Not my shit.
Sorry, any fans out there.
Yeah, no, I'm not actually. Sorry. So anyway, so she put out a new song, and the reason that I went and looked her up, she keeps getting mentioned in like a lot of the metal and rock press, and I'm like, oh, I gotta check her out. Everyone, I know I will try. You guys know how I feel about new music. I'm definitely like old and grumpy about that. If I don't like the sound of it, I just don't like the sound of it. But her, I really liked, and I was like, oh, this is like other shit I would listen to. But I'm putting a call out to her. And if there's any other Chelsea Wolfe fans, I'd love to know. Like, I would love to hear her do heavier stuff. I keep thinking it's going to be heavier stuff, and then it's not. But it's still awesome. So yeah.
Okay, so you just made me think of something else I should bring up. And Nate, maybe you can weigh on this too. So Metallica has released a new album since our last recording called 72
We're going to talk
Seasons.
about that. We should reserve that and do I want to do a show on that.
All right. Fair enough.
Because you know what I'm going to say for the first time, probably ever.
Okay. No,
so if you don't mind,
spoil it.
Okay, don't spoil it because I actually have good things to say for once. Which is everybody's going to pass out of shock. So I need you to have your smelling salts ready.
Okay.
All right. So are you guys ready to talk about tonight's subject?
Absolutely.
Drum
roll,
and
please.
Just a word of warning to the listeners. This is going to be very spoilery. So
good point. Good point. And tough shit. So grab your popcorn with extra butter. Grab a glass of whiskey. Let's hang out together and talk about metal lords. Yeah. You know, I was thinking about coming back on the show and I was going to be like, we're back, or we're back, or do some like of that like throw up puking death metal like and I just said we're back.
Some of that Cheney crab stuff we just talked about.
Yeah, missed my
was
opportunity.
Was it like a fusion of metal and mumble rap or something like that?
What a mix. Oh,
throwing up on the stage. I don't know. Okay, yeah. So as Ed said, because he's a nice guy, if you have not seen the movie that is on Netflix still called Metal Lords, you should do that. You're a dummy. Go do that. Fix it right now. Press pause. Go watch it. Okay, come back. And now you're going to know what the fuck we're talking about. But if you want to be a jerk and you don't want to see the movie, I'm going to be nice for a change and give you a summary. Okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Two best friends, Kevin and Hunter, decide to start a metal band in hopes of dominating the upcoming Battle of the Bands with their high school band called Skull Fuckers. Actually, it's Hunter more than Kevin, but we'll get there. There's a missing puzzle piece, though, for this duo, and her name is Emily, and she is a Scottish crazy-ass cellist who catches Kevin's eye in more way than one, whom Hunter dubs the Yoko of their group. This movie has everything. High school friends, fights, experimental teen wardrobes, loss of virginity, and so much more. It's a film about growing up. It's a film about maintaining relationships, the thrill of getting into and loving metal, and feeling misunderstood for that passion. So I'll give you a little snippet of info on this. So you may be thinking, if you've watched it, so I'll poll you guys. How many of you think these kids are musicians? Raise your hands. One. Okay. How many of you thought they were musicians before you looked it up? Okay. All right. So it turns out they are not musicians at all. They were not. So what's his face? Why can't I think of his name? From No. What's his damn name? DB Weiss. This is his movie, his concept. He wrote the movie, everything. He brought in Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine as the chief metal counselor. That was his literal title.
That's the most badass title I've ever heard in my life.
Fucking awesome. I would love to be called that. So he worked on the whole film and acted as a coach for the three young actors. So he taught them everything from how to hold instruments and actually took them on a musical journey to learn everything about the aesthetics of metal, how to listen to it, how to feel the music, all of that. And as a matter of fact, Morello wrote the song Machinery of Torment for the movie, which is
actually a great song.
It's a fucking great song. So we'll talk about the soundtrack, and I did actually take every song from the soundtrack and wrote like just a snippet about what scene in the movie it is. But let's just first start talking about, like, for me, The beginning of the movie. It's the first 5 minutes, and we are introduced to Emily. And Emily is on the field with the high school band, and she's playing. What is she playing? The clarinet.
Clarinet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sake! And
she hurls it like a javelin.
So she's playing it horrifically, which is hilarious. And the band director finally is like, stop, and like calls her aside and is basically like, you're playing something else and they're playing something else. And she just freaks out. And this is how the movie starts off. She's like, fuck you, fuck your shitty band, fuck everything, fuck this, hurls the clarinet and then calls him a cunt. And the teacher's like, you can't say that in this country.
Yes.
And then Kevin, by the way, who will be our drummer, is on the sidelines because he's also in the marching band. And he says, watches her, goes, that seems pretty metal to me, but I'm not sure. So I'll ask Hunter about it. This is a great way to start off this movie. So, lots and lots of cameos, you guys. Lots of cameos.
Oh, yeah.
Easter eggs everywhere.
There were some really good ones. Yeah. I think the replica of Eddie's guitar at the beginning was really cool.
Yeah.
There was also, I don't know if this is a little out there, and it doesn't have a lot to do with metal. I thought it was just interesting. In Kevin's room on his wall, he has a poster of a comic called Grognak the Barbarian, which is a comic that only exists in the Fallout video games.
So nice.
It was very strange. I mean, it was awesome though. It was really cool to see that. So I'm not sure what the meaning of the Easter egg was, but it was still pretty cool to see. So yeah.
That's awesome. So what I loved first and foremost, so the first time I saw this movie, I was with Ed, actually. Ed's like, you have to, and now, Ed, you've learned about me. I have to be in the right space to watch something. Mm-hmm. So we had been driving all fucking day. I was exhausted. We had a bunch of drinks and we went out to dinner. This is when we were driving across the country. Yeah. We're in the hotel room and I kept falling asleep and waking up. So I kept missing things. And then I'd wake up and be back into it and be like, oh, it was fucking awesome. And I'd be like, for 10 minutes and wake up again. Totally like a grandpa. But what I love about my favorite character is Hunter. He is, when I was a teenage girl, he was the type of guy that I dated usually. I love that the way Weiss captured the epitome of this metal teenager personality. Like, he's a dick, but you know it's because he's an injured kid because we're adults now. He's a little or a lot self-righteous. He's on his soapbox. He does a lot of virtue signalings, and then he can just be a complete dickhead asshole. But I love the heart behind that, and he just nailed that personality. Just nailed it.
Don't forget the delusions of grandeur.
That too.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Who strives to walk with gods.
Yes.
Yeah, his whole bit in the classroom was fucking.
Oh, come on. That was amazing.
It was something to see.
The actress who played the teacher, she was. I don't know what is so funny about that scene when he comes into the room, but he's like starts shredding before he walks in the room, and the way she jumps fucking killed me. That's so fucking funny.
But I'm thinking particularly of the scene where he's going to the wedding and he gets on all this war paint and he walks up to the guard.
Oh, guy gives him a little nut tap too, but
yeah, totally.
And that was that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so fucking great.
Yeah, he's in that space. He's like, okay, no one can stop me, but he finds out.
Well, another hilarious scene is when so Kevin fancies Emily. And he hears Emily actually playing the cello later on. And he's like, oh my God, she's fucking amazing. And he thinks like, well, she could play the cello for the band, mostly because he fancies her. And she's, talented. So he's trying to convince Hunter to let her in the band. And there's this amazing scene where they're in Hunter's room, and he says some really crazy things about having a chick in the band, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that'll make us gay." And Emily is like, "Uh-huh," and like looks around at these choice posters. And there's like, first I go to Judas Priest with Rob Halford. Then it's like
Leather Daddy, yeah.
Yeah. Then it's like, I forget which band it is, and they have all their shirts up and their shirts off, and they're oiled up.
It was Manowar or something like
that.
Yeah,
was it Manowar? Yeah. There was just all these choice things. So fucking funny. And I just thought that was so hilarious. And they play Grinder by Judas Priest in that in that part.
Appropriate.
Fucking perfect. And then there's an amazing scene, and this is when we're introduced to our cameos. So Kevin is now in a relationship with Emily. They've had a little de-virginizing experience in the back of a fucking van
at a synagogue of all places.
Yeah.
In the parking lot
of a synagogue.
You don't have to worry about being struck down by God. It makes sense. It's fine. So Kevin, so now they're in a relationship, and then Kevin, long story short, we'll just say he ends up at a birthday party, and there's a hot tub situation, and there's another chickie there that he was interested in before he met Emily, and she's in her skivvies and invites him into the hot tub, and they start making out. Then all of a sudden, who's there? Tom Morello, Rob Halford.
Yeah.
And they're debating.
Scotty Ian.
Yep.
Scotty Ian, Kirk Hammett. They're talking about, this.
But the funny thing is, they're basically like his Jiminy Crickets.
Yeah,
his conscience.
It's like Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future show up or some shit like that. That's what it reminded me of. It's like, oh, that would be awesome.
They're like, he's in a committed relationship. This seems really disrespectful. And it's I don't know. That was one of the funniest scenes to me.
Kurt's like, we've all been there.
Yeah, true. Kurt, the nerdiest of all of them, is trying to say, like, let him go for it. Let him have it. Just let him have it. And the other guy's like, no. Come on.
Yeah, and then Rob with the sage wisdom.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, do you love her? Well,
so good. So good. So yeah, great fucking cameos. And then what's his name? I always forget his name. Who plays the doctor? What the hell is his name?
I don't remember his name either. He's in several. He's in
Hunter's dad. Are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. Okay, we'll talk about Hunter's dad because I do not like his style of. I've never liked him as an actor. Like his. I don't know what that style is that you call it, but I've never liked him, and I love him in this movie. Love him. Actually, I shouldn't say that because he's in Stranger Things as well. Right?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's the guy that speaks Russian. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I'm right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like him in that.
Brett Gelman is his name.
Okay. He is hilarious. No, who plays the doctor? Because
Joe Manganiello.
That's it. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. That's what you're talking about. Yep.
Well, it kind of threw me for a loop because Kiloton is a real band.
I know.
And then they said he was, he played, guitar for Kiloton. I was like, I don't remember anyone named Troy Nix sounds familiar, but I was like, I don't know if I just made that up or what. So I had to Google a little bit, and I don't think he was actually in it, but they still referenced Kiloton.
It's so good.
Cool, so yeah.
Well, Tom. So apparently, Weiss and Morello had met each other before, and Morello they struck up a friendship because Weiss is such a huge metal fan. He truly is, which is he's been wanting to make this movie, he said, for years. So with the two of them together, the references, the Easter eggs, that's how they got these cameos. Like, it'd be like us making a movie. It would be ridiculous shit in there.
When they were talking in that interview clip with those two talking about how they had to were limited in the music they could use in the movie because of the budget. I could imagine, as awesome as the soundtrack is, imagine what it'd be like if they had unlimited budget for music in this movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, it would be like if I made a movie, I would need like $10 million just for the movie. They'd be like, Sailor, you only have like 10 lines of dialogue and 46 songs. And I'd be like, yeah.
But yeah, the vibe of this movie, I was always thinking about School of Rock when watching this movie.
Good.
Because the way they would tie the music into different scenes really well. It's like what School of Rock was, a love letter to classic rock. This was a love letter to classic metal.
Yeah.
And except it's a slightly more mature version of that. But yeah.
That's
that same vibe.
That's a great analogy. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just great kind of coming of age high school movie, but it was all based around metal, which is fantastic. So I thought, and everything was great. Music was great. I thought all three of the main actors did fantastic.
Oh my god, they were incredible.
The guy who played Hunter hasn't been in much, but I can only imagine.
I think this was his first film.
Because he
was absolutely perfect.
So, I think this was his first. Pretty sure it was his first. Kevin's been in a lot of stuff, but not Hunter. I love the transformation that Kevin gets through the movie. I think that was so well done that it wasn't just like this one day, like, okay, look at me, now I'm a metalhead. That would be so that would make him a poser. I love that. I love the way Hunter coached him through it, and he's like, here's the metal essential list of the songs he needs to listen to, and then the scene where they're interviewing bass players.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I really thought the guy was gonna kill it too. I was like, oh, this guy looks like a bass player. Is gonna be awesome.
That guy came in, my first thought was, is that Machine Gun Kelly?
Oh, that's an insult. That fucker can't play instruments, I don't think.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so when he's doing the whole like Grateful Dead jam band bullshit, and then he's like, I forget what, there's a word for it when they like vibe on each other, or like up in each other's faces, like vibing on what we're fucking playing bullshit, and he's just like he's backing up and he's like, what the fuck, dude? That I just thought that was
I gotta work hilarious. On the songs first, and you can work on the stage.
Yeah.
Stage shit.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Kicking chairs over and mic stands and
kicks over the mic stand. And he's like the least metal out of all of them, and he's like, I just thought that was so great. There's a scene too where Hunter's dad, I think it's when they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, and that scene was amazing.
Oh my god! And Kevin invites over a prospective bass player. He's hoping Hunter will like this kid and he can join the band. And of course, Hunter just does a dick move and beats the shit out of this kid in the game, and he's just being a total asshole. And his dad freaks out on him for something, and he goes, I wish I would have written down the quote of what he said. It was something like, so Hunter says to his dad, go shove balloons in someone else's boobs, Dad. And Kevin's like, his dad's a plastic surgeon, just so you know. Because the other kid's like, what the fuck? And then he just keeps like disparaging his dad's career. And he ends up walking out of the house, and his dad's chasing him and going, don't forget that my embarrassing career, whatever he says, pays for your devil worshipping t-shirts.
The going to Guitar Spinner and spending 14 grand on drum kit's pretty ballsy.
I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to do that.
Yeah, and poor Kevin had wound up with that 16-piece kit, and it's like, oh god.
What I want to know is how he got that drum kit into that little Honda.
You saw he had to like tie shit down, and he had it set up in his room, and there's like no room to move. He's like, yeah, it's pretty big.
But you know, good, did you catch? There was one little Slayer reference in there I thought was pretty funny. Because it's like when, I forget who it was. He was practicing drumming, and someone came in, interrupt him, and he's like, I was just working on Slayer Rain and Blood, but I was having a little trouble.
Oh yeah, it was the guys from the cover band that
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
God.
Oh God, that cover band.
That was
when he goes, this is it. This is all the songs. It's pretty much just the same thing through all the songs, and the guys are like, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, okay, cool.
You guys want to get together to practice? No, it's all good.
No, we're good.
But I like how at the actual performance he like throws in a little double bass action and stuff in there.
Yeah, kind of jazzes up a little bit. That was great.
Yeah. And of course, one of the songs that's played when Hunter's giving Kevin his heavy metal crash course is For Whom the Bell Tolls. Yes, thank you very much.
That's Metallica, right?
Yes.
And then we have Whiplash by Metallica playing while Hunter and Ray are breaking out of the wellness center.
Yep. That was like absolutely perfect. I'm like, so great song choice for that one.
Acting like a maniac. And they're like running out of the nut house. So good. I just think they did such a great job with the placement too. The placement of all of the music was just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, and also Judas Priest during the car chase scene.
Was it Painkiller?
Yes, Painkiller.
Yeah, it was excellent.
Yeah, when they're running away from the bullies after, of course, Hunter does something fucking stupid.
Yeah, and even during the sad scene after Kevin and oh God, I can't remember her name. It's gonna kill me.
Emily.
Emily. Get into it. They playing "If I Can't Have You" by GNR, and it's like, and it's like, oh, they even threw kind of a ballad in there too. So yeah, they killed it with the whole soundtrack, and like you guys said, the song placement is pretty spot on.
So amazing, and it's the trooper when they're in Guitar Center. Incredible.
And I also noticed that he also happened to be wearing an Iron Maiden Trooper t-shirt.
Yes.
In the same scene too.
Oh, I was saying that to Nate before he came on. I would kill that kid for his fucking t-shirt collection.
Oh my god.
I want to how I am about my t-shirts. I would, and I'm looking at some of them and I'm like, God, I used to have that fucking shirt. I'm so mad.
Well, that reminds me of the scene in the cafeteria where he's talking to someone about, it's Hunter talking to Kevin about saying, oh, that's so messed up, as he takes off his jacket and he's got his arm with Slayer with the
Slayer
name cut into the flesh.
Yes. So good. Oh my God, so good. They threw in some War Pigs by Sabbath.
Yes.
Hail to the King by Avenged Sevenfold while they were playing Dungeons and Dragons. They threw in a little Ed Sheeran, which was hysterical at the house party and the wedding. I love that they used it twice. They're like, fuck that. We're going to use the same song twice.
So how about the band name Mollycoddle?
Mollycoddle, right? It's appropriate.
So good. Amazing. Wiz Khalifa, that's Mollycoddle played that We Dem Boys or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you had what else did you have?
They had Blood and Thunder by Mastodon.
Blood and Thunder from Mastodon. Yep.
Excellent. Yeah.
That's while Hunter's getting beaten up by the bullies.
Mm-hmm.
And finds his car. Then they play it again when he finds his car vandalized.
Yeah.
We talked about Grinder, and then D by Ozzy. And then you've got some riffs of course, Motorhead's Ace of Spades.
I saw
quite the mashup. Yeah.
That's another movie. And then so like you said, during Guns N' Roses, Since I Don't Have You, and then I'm Broken by Pantera when Emily shows up for the Battle of the Bands, which is fucking awesome. And then I love how their name went from Skull Fucker to Skull Flower.
Yeah,
that was great.
It was quick thinking. So yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you that haven't seen it, so Hunter calls the band Skullfucker, which Emily brings up, by the way, when he says the gay remark. And the teacher catches them as they're about to go in for the Battle of the Bands. And of course, on the bass drum, it says Skullfucker in huge letters. And she's like, no, I don't think so.
Skull with a giant knife going into the eye
Yes.
socket, too. So,
yes, that too. That too, a little drawing. And she's like, no, you can't go in there. You can't go in there. And Emily's like, hang on a second. And she gets into the art room and, you see them next scene on stage and it's got skull flower and then a flower over where the knife went into. Really, really well done. Just a great movie. It's just fun. It moves quickly at the right parts. It speeds up when it needs to, and it has endearing scenes. It has, I could just, I don't know, like I could resonate a lot also with Hunter, that he was just so angry at his dad that his dad wasn't parenting him. And, so he's just spending his money and calling him a dickhead, and he's just so angry,
Right. So I think
just,
that,
yeah.
As I think that with these three characters, it's really interesting that the qualities they each bring to the movie and how you can identify with sometimes a little bit of each of them, or maybe a couple of them. Because like for me, like I'm a good mix, I'd say, of Kevin and Emily. I can definitely relate to both.
Definitely.
Both of them. And I'm kind of this would have been a great movie for me to see when I was in high school, because I didn't really get into metal until like I was in college. And I'm hoping and I'm thinking this is a great introduction to classic metal for a lot of, I think, the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does it in a really approachable way. And I think it's really great on so many different levels like that.
Something I really liked kind of at the end was Kevin had mentioned he doesn't want to do kind of what Sailor said earlier, the music the vocals that sound like you're throwing up into the mic or anything like that.
Yeah.
Kevin said he didn't want to do that. And then kind of towards the end, I thought it was endearing when they're sitting there together after the Battle of the Bands. And it sounds like Hunter's kind of starting to play a ballad a little bit. He's not like shredding something like crazy. And so I kind of look at that as, okay, maybe Hunter's maybe taking Kevin into the equation a little bit, and maybe he is branching out and going, okay, you can play ballads in classic metal, and that's fine. I'm not so married to this post-doom metal thing that he was initially.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
You know what it was, what he was playing, if you didn't recognize it, it's basically, it was sort of like a metal ballad version of the piece that Emily was playing on her cello.
Oh, really?
Scene,
okay.
I believe.
She plays Bach.
It's Bach, right? Yeah.
She plays Bach. And then she plays then there's something else. It's another aria from Bach. It's Bach twice. Yeah. You make a good point though, Nate. It gives me hope for the newer generations to be introduced to this music, and like to me this is a lot of foundation of what I consider to be metal and classic metal from the 80s. So I think it's exciting to think that there might be, Stranger Things did the same thing, which was really exciting. Metallica all of a sudden, kids, their grandchildren's ages were like all of a sudden like, oh, Metallica. They got all these new fans from that series. And I'm sure the same thing's happening from this movie, because it was, the movie did really well. I love what you said, Ed, about the characters. I mean, I definitely see myself in Emily, of course. And definitely in Hunter. Kevin, not so much. But definitely Emily and Hunter for sure.
Yeah, that's what I said. If I would have had to pick it for you, I said you would have been more of a like Emily Hunter kind of a character.
Definitely. The good parts of Hunter, hopefully.
Yeah.
Where
And I
he was
remember
looking
kids,
out for
I had friends
Kevin.
like that growing up too. I mean, these hyper intense, super into metal guys that were go, go, go. And so a lot of the things in that movie, it's like, gosh, some of this really reminds me of high school a lot.
Yeah.
And people I knew
Uh-oh.
growing up listening to metal. So
Yeah, I
Turkey.
definitely wasn't like a go, go, go metal person like that, but I knew a lot of dudes like that for sure. But I was definitely one that would just be like, fuck it, let's do it, you know, fuck the consequences. And I definitely would have looked out for Kevin as well and made sure that he didn't get beat up and bullied, and I would have taken the shots for him for sure.
Yeah, I look back now and I can recognize when I was in high school in my study hall, I had a couple of hunters in my study hall for sure. The guys would come in with their anarchist cookbook and always wore the black t-shirts and
Yeah, we were called burnouts back then. Everybody called us the burnouts.
I think there is definitely just a distinction between a metalhead and a burnout.
Not when I was a kid.
In my high school, there was.
We didn't really get called metalheads. I don't feel like that was. I mean, I think we called ourselves metalheads for sure, but I think the kids who weren't metalheads, they just called us burnouts. We weren't respected for.
So maybe it's because I know the metalheads at the time when I was in high school, the guys I'm talking about, the hunters that were in my study hall or whatever, they were very intelligent, very well articulated kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The burnouts were not. They just wanted to go out to outside back behind the tennis courts.
Well, we were both. We were both. There was a time for both. But what I'm saying is the kids who weren't metalheads would look at us and assume we were burnouts. We were whatever because we looked like metalheads. You know what I'm saying? I think that distinction was made a little bit more from us as opposed to the outsiders.
So you were called goths in the early 2000s, and we were listening to a lot of classic metal like Korn, Godsmack, Limp Bizkit.
That's not classic. How dare you?
No,
Don't
sorry.
ever.
Lots of new metal.
New metal. Thank you. That's not classic. It may have been for your age group, but that is not.
Now it's I completely agree.
Not even now. It's not. Nope.
I never will be. So
nope, never will be. Nope, it will always be called new metal, even when I'm 120. It will never be classic.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But goths were not. That was not goths either. Goths did not exist. No. Goths and metal, no. That's totally different scenes altogether.
Yeah, I think it's just because how we dress. Because I wore, strappy pants and like a fishnet shirt and a kitty shirt over it and stuff like that.
Not goth.
Lots of
that was
spikes
not
and stuff
goth.
like that.
No,
you just got to explain that to a bunch of 13-year-old boys and girls, though.
Yes,
and you got to have your Cure T-shirt.
Right.
Smith's Joy Division, things like that.
Yeah. Yes, that's goth. and you had to have some Renaissance look to you because it's the Gothic period. Most people don't even understand where that term came from. Why people were called goths, because they were emulating the Gothic period of time, and that fashion aesthetic. And then it was romantic, like dark romanticism. That's what it was called before the word goth was used, was dark romantic. So very much like an Interview with a Vampire look.
So lots of ruffly shirts and tail.
It was. Yeah.
Coats with tails and stuff. Yeah.
Look at what old. I hate to call us old, but look at, look at goth from the 80s and you'll see that was real goth. It was a whole different thing than what it turned into.
The only lipstick color you could wear was black.
You were only allowed to wear black. Otherwise, the goth police would come and take away your goth card and you'd have to wear white until you earned it back.
Oh, shit. That's strict.
Yeah, we didn't fuck around, man.
Rules are rules.
There was also a lot of witchiness and a lot of romanticizing spirituality, and there was a lot more to it than just like, this is how we dress and this is what we listen to. It was a whole lifestyle being a goth back in the day. It was a real deal thing for a lot of people, and a lot of old goths are still goths.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. Yeah.
That's why I remember from college. Now you bring it up, is there was like a goth girl in my speech class, and she gave her speech on being Wiccan in the class, and that was my first exposure to that. So that was kind of interesting.
See, Sailor, don't tell no lies.
There you go.
I went to art school, so just fathom for a minute. Just imagine.
So that was my major. I was an art major, and I was
so the amount of goths that I went to school with was
it was a little
huge.
Disproportionate to the other majors.
Correct. We had goths, we had skaters, and then we had the bizarro true artists that were just, who knows what the fuck happened to those
tortured
people.
souls. Yeah.
I don't know if they were tortured, but they were fucking out there, man. They were who knows what. Just very talented, but very incapable of being social and dealing with the reality of the modern world, for sure. Yeah.
Those are the people you look at and it's like, you know what? You're very talented, but I don't know how the heck you're going to make a living once you get out of this place.
Those people need managers. Once their parents need to like hand them off to a life manager. Like, I'll be your babysitter for life, and I'll make sure that you eat and sleep and bathe and have a fulfilling career.
We'll get you out of the house once a day for walk around the block for half an hour.
For some sunshine and socialization.
A little bit of vitamin D.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this conversation's really gone off the rails.
What the fuck?
We're still talking about these tropes from high school and stuff like that. It's loosely attached, I guess.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Anyway, okay, to sum it up, great movie. Thank you, Ed, for making sure I watched it and I stayed awake. I've seen it 3 times now. Once I just wanted to watch it all the way through, and then for notes.
As soon as I saw that movie, I'm like, Sailor has to watch this. Sailor has to watch this movie.
I just remember waking up and you're laughing your ass off, and I'm like, what's happening? And it was a great movie.
Yeah, thanks for the recommendation, guys. I've never even heard of it, so that's why it completely caught me off guard. I thought it was a podcast. You guys first mentioned, I was like, oh, a podcast called Metal Lords. I could listen to that. And then I opened it and I was like, oh, it's a movie. Yeah, and so that was great.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of the most underrated movies of the last year or so. It's kind of really flies under the radar, but it's such a great movie.
For sure.
Yeah.
But now that we're mentioning it on our podcast, it's going to go viral. It's going to it's just going to go off the charts. Hundreds of thousands of people are going to start listening to it because our reach is so far. We have a global reach. Hello to our fans in Korea. And where was it? Brazil. Yeah. Brazil.
You're welcome, DB Weiss.
Yes, you're welcome. You can send the check to I'll DM you for the address. This was a fun way to come back. I'm excited to be back, you guys.
Me too. This was great.
Ed spilled the beans a little bit, but we will be talking about Metallica coming up, and we will definitely continue our hair metal series. Been a long time since we made that joke. Matt is not with us any longer. He is very busy being a dad to his 2 boys, who are growing and thriving and, helping out his wife and partner. He may be with us every now and then, but he's just not able to be with us on a consistent basis. So Nate has joined the ranks, and I'm sure you'll do a great job filling in. And if not, I'll beat you up and we'll never see you again.
Give me the boot. Okay, well, no pressure.
Once again, we're on 3 time zones, so that's super fucking fun.
Yeah.
Love when that happens.
No, wait a minute. Have we been on 3 time zones before? I think we were only on 2 time zones.
No.
We're on Eastern, Central, and Mountain, I think, right?
So before Matt was here, you were in Chicago, and I was in Spokane. That's 3 time zones.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, you were. Okay.
There was a minute where 3 people were on East Coast and you were the only one
Yeah.
in
so
Central.
I was like the one who would like screw up everybody's schedule.
Yeah. That. Anyway, it was fun to be back. I'm excited to bring you guys new content. If you do not follow us on social media, just find us Metal Rock and Whiskey, and our YouTube channel is where you can see videos of our stupid faces talking about stuff, and where you don't edit that shit because I don't want to. So yeah, you can see Ed leaving to go get his whiskey that he forgot after choking down his pork chops to get to the recording.
Amazing, by the way.
Oh, I'm glad it was worth it. But yeah, so I'm super excited to be back, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, what am I supposed to say? I forget. Fuck you, Lars. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.